if you have a child who is thinking, which I know, but work with me. If they're thinking and if they're listening, work with me. They're going to start having some questions. The church fills our children's brains with good moralistic little lessons about being good and being nice to people, little Johnny. And at the same time, most of the stories that our children hear in church are from the Old Testament, where God's people are walking around killing everybody. What's up with that? There may come a day where little Johnny comes home and he says, Daddy, how come David got to kill Goliath? Can I kill tall people too? Or perhaps, Daddy, how comes Joshua got to knock over a city and kill people? Can I knock over cities too for Jesus? Or maybe, Daddy, how come there's that one guy, Elijah or something, and there were these kids who was making fun of him, and he had bears come out and eat them? How can my sister be eaten by a bear? Can I do that for Jesus? See, the whole thing gets very confusing. Why is it that God's people can walk around killing everybody in the Old Testament, but today we're supposed to be nice to our brother and sister and all the creepy people out there that pick on us? What's up with that? Well, this is a difficult question to answer in such a way where a child is going to follow you. However, it boils down to this. There is a difference between the Old Covenant and the New Covenant. How you explain this to a child might be a little bit difficult. Perhaps your answer would start like this. Well, we've got our guy David who killed Goliath, we got our guy Joshua who knocked over cities, and we got our guy Elijah who killed little children with a bear. Now, all three of those guys are what you call Jewish. They were from the nation of Israel. And God made a special covenant with Israel. A covenant is a promise. God promised the people of Israel that they would be able to be a great nation and they were going to live in a certain geographical location, a piece of land over there in the Middle East that God called the Promised Land. In order to show their faith in God, they were supposed to go in there and they were supposed to take over the land, which involved kicking out all the other people who lived there, which got a little messy from time to time, and there was a little bit of killing here and there. Now, however, we are in the New Covenant. There's a new promise that God has made to a new people. And the reason why there's a new covenant to a new people is because of this thing called the gospel. Jesus Christ came and he fulfilled a lot of the promises that God made to the people of Israel. And you're probably not going to be able to go into too much depth about that because it's going to go right over your children's head. And so you just boil it down to the fact that the gospel of Jesus Christ, he was fulfilling promises made to the Jewish people. And then Jesus Christ said that he is bringing in a new covenant. And the book of Hebrews even says that the new covenant is a better covenant than the one that he made with the people of Israel. In the new covenant, Jesus Christ is the one that we follow. Jesus Christ didn't walk around killing people. In order to fully answer this question, you have to get into a lot of ticky-tacky details about the Old Covenant and the New Covenant and so forth. And you're going to bog it down with a lot of stuff. And quite frankly, there's a lot of adults out there that I don't think answer this question very well themselves. Because this is a large issue. I think the Old Covenant is largely dealing with stuff in this world. It's an earthly covenant. If you do these certain things in an earthly temple with an earthly priesthood with earthly sacrifices, you get earthly promises in an earthly land with earthly blessing. Whereas the New Covenant is mainly based on spiritual and heavenly stuff. And so it's a bit different. But in order to go into all that stuff, it's going to be very difficult with your children. But you should at least lay the foundation that there's a difference between the Old Covenant and the New Covenant, and the reason why is because Jesus Christ came and he established the New Covenant. More than likely, however, your children are like pretty much everybody else's children, and it's not even really going to faze them that all their supposed heroes of the scriptures walked around killing people, whereas today we're supposed to be nice. Most kids don't even put two and two together. But at a certain point, once you hit the age 36 or 37, you start realizing that, that's a little bit different back there. And so there's a little bit of work you need to do here. And good luck to your parents out there. to try to correct this one for your children if they have this question. Again, emphasize there's a difference between the Old and New Covenant, and it all boils down to the Lord Jesus Christ and the shifting of the sphere of the promises in the covenants. Good luck.